Welcome to everyone to another episode of Zoom on Sales, where we explore the intersection of business, personal growth, and the skills that drive success. I am your host, Abdul Rehman Ilahi, founder of Zoom on Sales, where we are helping the business elevate their sales strategies and performance. Today, we have a very special guest. He's very close to my heart. His name is Professor Matt. Professor Matt has been at the forefront of teaching emotional intelligence for nearly 40 years. He is co founded EQ4Peace Worldwide, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to promoting the peace, education, emotional intelligence, and social emotional learning across the globe. From preschoolers to PhD candidate, Professor Matt has been sharing his insights and expertise on how understanding and managing our emotions can lead to success. As I believe, as an entrepreneur, emotional intelligence is highly important to the success of any business. So, we are going to discuss about this, and today episode is going to be very important for those entrepreneurs, and we are going to be diving in deep into the world of emotional intelligence, what it is, why it matters, and how we can all the benefit from developing our EQ. So without further delay, let's welcome Professor Matt to the show. Thank you, Matt, to be host on my show.
Thank you for having me, Abdul. This is a super important subject, and I'm very proud to be speaking with you. So thanks. Let's get into it.
Yeah, most welcome, and it's an really honor to to you have on my show because I know you have a very busy schedule. You have a lot of speaking to do, and you are doing like several. You are delivering several number of lecturers on a day. So it's matter for me. Like it's an honor for me that you are with me. So, Matt,
Wonderful.
the first question I'm going to be asked, which is related to understanding the emotional intelligence. So, Matt, you have dedicated your life to teaching the emotional intelligence. For those who might not be the familiar, could you start by explaining what emotional intelligence is and why it is so important in today's world?
Sure. Yeah, you bet. Yes, it is super important. So, emotional intelligence, you think about those words. A lot of people have never heard those words put together before. They're like, emotions, you could be smart about your emotions, be intelligent about your emotions. Like, yes, you can, and you should, and you need to, and it's important. It's important. They're happening 24/7, 365. They're happening all day, every day. We have emotions, we have thoughts, and we have emotions. And whether we're aware of them or not, whether we manage them or not, whether we control them or not, they're happening. And so most people don't talk about it. We don't learn about them in school. Our parents didn't talk about them. We better not deal with them at work. So, or any of that. So how are we supposed to learn this stuff? How are we supposed to learn? So some years ago, I found out that I didn't know anything about my emotions. I talked to my parents. They didn't know anything. I said, why didn't you teach us about it? They're like, come on, we didn't know anything about that. And I said, so I figured out that it's super important for me that I was completely ignorant emotionally. And then I found out too that so are most other people. So I started to say, you know what, this is important. I'm going to start bringing this to the world. So that's what I'm doing now.
Amazing. Sounds good. So, Matt, uh, as we discussed earlier, like what is the
Okay,
importance
so
of
we have
emotional?
feelings, right? We have feelings.
Sorry?
Yeah. So it's just being smart about our feelings. We don't think about them. We don't talk about them. We don't even acknowledge them. We just ignore them completely. A lot of people spend a lot of their time trying not to feel, not to do their emotions. And that causes problems. It's causing problems in society. It's causing problems because it's creating things like violence and abuse and addictions and divorce, and the suicide rate all over the world, especially since COVID, is skyrocketing in many countries. It's amazing, and it's super avoidable, in my opinion. And that's the ultimate in not being able to deal with your feelings. You're like, okay, all this stuff is happening to me inside of me, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't see how I can stop it. And so I'm out of here. I can't do it. I'm not going to do this anymore. So it's very bad. It's also causing mental health issues. It's causing they've now connected emotional problems inside of you, especially since your childhood, with severe physical problems as an adult. If you don't deal with your emotions, your body starts after a while, you being tense in certain areas, or you being upset in different ways, and you constricting your veins in your heart and your brain. It causes severe medical problems as an adult. So it's not funny anymore. It's not, it used to be a nice thing to have, but now it's critical. It's about understanding yourself. It's about being able to manage yourself. It's about understanding other people, and it's being able to manage them, managing your relationships with them. So it's not rocket science. All of it's some really pretty simple, but it ain't. Some of it's not easy. It's not easy. Deal with your anger and your fear and your sadness. Some of that stuff, it ain't easy, and it ain't fun either. But it's got to get done. I always say it ain't always fun, but it's got to get done. And so you want to relate to your customers, you want to relate to your employees, you want to have relationships that work for you with your suppliers, with your everybody. I suggest, you don't gotta, but I suggest strongly that you learn about your emotions, what's going on inside of you, what's going on inside of them. It matters a lot.
Yeah, I totally 100% agree. I remember, we need to be, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we need to be control the anger. We need to be show the emotions, but we need to be control. I remember, I go for a counseling. A company CEOs hire me to convey the message to the employees, and when I discuss with the employees, I realize, the employees are right, but the CEO is not the right person to do the business, because he's full of anger. He just throw the files on the face of the employees. So he's not the right person to do the business, right? So yeah, I totally agree with you. So why do emotions matter, and why should we care about them? What impact do they have on our daily lives, both personally and professionally?
Well, like I said, we have thoughts and we have feelings, and our feelings matter. They're when we make decisions. Whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we talk about, whatever goes on inside of us, your emotions affect that. They affect it, whether you know it or not. They do. And if you want to be in control of yourself, if you want to be successful, if you want to have good relationships, that sort of stuff, you need to know what's going on inside of you emotionally, not just your thoughts. You got two sides of your brain, right? It's not exactly this way, and the science of it is real. There is stuff going on in your mind. We basically, the left brain is about your logic and your cognitive thinking, right? The science, the the logic of what's going on, which is cool. We're good at that, and that's what our schools teach. That's what our society teaches. That's what we like to talk about, is what makes sense, what's logical. But there's also a whole other side. There's a whole other side of us, our emotions, our passion, our understanding, our senses, our, your thought, your feeling, touch, taste, all that kind of stuff. Those are all information. It's information that your body's trying to give you. And if you listen, you can make better decisions. So we make better decisions all day, every day. We make decisions based on our thoughts and our feelings. We know pretty good about our thoughts. We don't know that much about our feelings. So I'm suggesting learn about your feelings so that you can bring them up and balance, have some balance in your life, right? Like you were saying, that guy that has way too much anger, he's out of balance, right? He's upset about different things, probably from his childhood, probably from a long time ago. And so it continues. So if you know about that and you can manage that, you can manage your relationships. You can be more successful. Now they're finding study after study after study. You will make more money. Probably you will be promoted. You get hired for your IQ, your logic, but people get promoted and stay because of their emotions, because of their relationships usually. And you will probably live longer. You'll probably live longer. So it's wild how much effect there seem to be having on us.
Exactly. I totally understand, and totally I can relate it. So, Matt, what are the some potential benefits of being emotionally intelligent, and how
Mm,
can it be influence or on our success and overall well-being, right?
yep. Yep. Okay, well, so starting with the end, starting with me. Okay, this has got to start with me. I'm going to manage. I need to be able to manage myself and be able to understand what's going on inside of me. If I don't know what my emotions are happening, I don't even understand myself. That's not a good feeling. I don't know what's going on inside of me. And once I know, which we call self-awareness, step one, then we have self-management, step two, which is, all right, what am I going to do with this? Now that I have this information, now I'm aware of it and I accept it. By the way, acceptance is a big deal. It's very important. It doesn't sound like it, but it is. We are become aware, pay attention to what you're feeling, and then you accept it. And then once you are aware and you accept it, then you can decide, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to do about it? What do you want to do with it? Those are different. But what do you do with all these thoughts and feelings that are going on inside of it? What do I do with those? So once you become more aware of them, you can do better. You can make better decisions. You can have better thoughts. You can have better feelings. You can take better actions. You can get better results. You get better results basically because you know what's going on. You can understand your relationships. You can watch other people and be aware of what's happening with them. If you're coming across the way you want to, are we connecting like I want to? Or is this person completely shut down? That kind of thing. Like in sales and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, you need to, it's so important to be able to understand the person you're talking to and be able to relate to them. And so if you want to have better relationships, understand yourself better. So, let me do this real quick. The steps are self-awareness first. I got to understand me. Self-management second, which is be able to manage myself. Third is other awareness or community awareness or whatever you call it. It's being able to understand what's going on for other people. And then fourth is relationship management. So, okay, now if my thoughts and feelings are important to me, they're probably important to you too. And so if you can be safe and you can be a person that understands and accepts what other people are thinking and feeling, then they like that. They like that very much. And so they'll trust you more. They will confide in you more. They will more likely to buy from you. They're more likely to continue being your friend. They're more likely to relate or refer you to other people, all that kind of stuff, because they like you, because you're a safe person to them. And that's a big deal. And that starts with you being safe with you.
Exactly. So you are saying like, yeah. Do you take some water? So we can start. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cold. Thank you. Go ahead while you're talking.
Okay. So Matt, what are the problem of emotional literacy? Like you mentioned that most of the world is not very emotionally literate, right? And what are some
Not
of
really.
the problems? This is lack of emotional education, right? And like emotional education creates both socially and individually. And why is emotional intelligence not more widely understood?
Well, it has a really bad reputation. People don't like their negative feelings. So we call them negative and positive feelings just to differentiate them. But really, they're all positive. They're all good information that our body gives us. So really, they're all positive. But we call them negative because they don't feel good. Some of them don't feel good and they're no fun, right? Fear, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, anxiety, depression. Nobody wants to feel those. But they're awesome information. They're your body telling you stuff. Each one has a message for you, and if you listen to it, you can make some great things, and you can do some great things with your life. If you don't, look out! Warning, warning! Right? You're going to be. Chances are you will be sick. Chances are you will be grumpy. Chances are you will not have good relationships. Chances are you're going to be unhappy. Chances are you're not going to stay in your job very long. you're not going to be successful, that kind of thing. So if you can manage you, it's about you. It's a study of you and me and we, and about you, you can make you better you. I mean, that's a stupid way to put it, but it's really true. You can be the best you that you can be if you know about all of you. And there's a whole part of you that you probably have never met. You may not know and understand.
Yeah. So Matt, let's discuss about emotions in different areas of life, right? According to you, which areas of life are most affected by our emotions? Can you give some examples of how emotions influence our decision and action in different contexts, like at home, work, in a social setting, something like that?
Sure. Well, like I said, I think this is just my opinion, but I think, what's made the biggest difference for me is my relationship with me. My relationship with me is so much better than it used to be. So much. I used to be scared a lot. I used to judge myself a lot. I used to hide from people. I used to be kind of shut down and contained, that kind of thing, as you can see now. Sorry. As I mentioned, if I can deal, here's the key to this whole thing, in my opinion. If I can deal with my negatives, if I can deal with my fear and my anger and my sadness in particular, just those three, we have tons of feelings. I have a list of 5,000 words in the English language that are feeling related. 5,000. There's too many. It's a ridiculous number and it's huge, right? But I'm saying you could boil it down to those three. If you can understand your fear, your anger, and your sadness, if I can manage those, if I can deal with those, if I can face those, there isn't much that life can throw at me that I can't handle. I can handle anything. I can handle anything that goes wrong. I can be, and because I know that I can handle things, then I can risk more. I can be more open. I can be more fun. I can be more loving. I can be more lively. I can talk to people. I can approach people. I can risk more. I can reach higher, all kinds of stuff about me. Just because if I can deal with my negatives, then I can create more positives. I can risk more, I guess, is the bottom line to it. And if it doesn't go well, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. Like right now, I'm here, right? We're jumping up and down about on a podcast in front of lots of people. And if I never would have done this years ago, there's no way I would have done this years ago. But now, you know what? If this goes terribly, all right, I'll deal with it. I'm not going to bash on myself, and I'm not going to be a disaster. And oh my gosh, right? I'll deal with it. So being able to deal with our negatives is so huge. It's so huge. Secondly, and that's me, my relationship with me. And then what I've found also is that if I can deal with me, I can deal with you. I can shut up and listen to you. I can understand you. I can have empathy and compassion are the two of the strongest skills in emotional intelligence. I can care about you. And therefore, and check this out, we can actually open up our heart or close up our heart whenever we want with this skill, because emotional intelligence gives us choices. A lot of times people feel like they only have one choice, like that guy being angry, right? You're saying a lot of people, people have attacked them or things have gone wrong, and you start going, wait a minute, no, you're not going to get me again. You're not going to hurt me like that again. And so they're walking around with their fists up like that. You can do that if you want to, but I suggest you don't do that. I suggest you put it down. I suggest that if you can pick up your anger when you need to. Anger is a really important tool in your emotional toolkit, and you can pick it up when you need to, but you don't you don't have to walk around being angry. You don't have to walk around like this all the time. It's not helpful, and it doesn't work well, and your body starts falling apart, and it is definitely not something that creates peace in your life or around you, inner peace or interpersonal peace or social peace. And it's causing, of course, global problems too. So that's what our nonprofit's about. We figure if we can teach people how to be peaceful on the inside by learning about their emotions, they can be more peaceful on the outside and create peace inside around them as well. And someday maybe, and when enough people know, maybe we can have some global peace, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Matt, how do our emotions affect us at work? Like, what are some benefits of incorporating emotional training? Like, such as soft skills or client focus into the workplace, like we can relate it in just a short.
Yeah. I'm coming to India next month, and I'm working with a soft skills trainer at a university, Andhra University in India, and he's a soft skills trainer. So yeah, that I just started using that word. I haven't been using that much, but I'm going to start using it because that's what it's called, and it's super important. Self-esteem, self-motivation, self-acceptance. Understanding your relationships, understanding each other, being able to connect with people. If you want to do interviewing, you got to be able to connect with the person, hopefully, to do presentations, to be a leader, to be a leader, if you want to lead even your own life, but also your family, your community, your job, at your job, if you're a leader, you need to be in touch with yourself. You need to be able to manage your emotions, right? You can't just take out whatever you want to say on people. They don't like it and they're not going to take it, especially in the United States, especially now young folks, they're like, you know what? I'm out of here. In the United States, there's a massive exodus of people like, I'm not doing this just for a paycheck. You're either going to care about me or I'm leaving. You're either this is going to matter to me or not. And that's all heart. That's not just logic. It's not just a paycheck. You're like, hey, I'm paying you. You're like, so I don't care. And so it's huge. It's a huge part of people's decisions and what they do with things. And if you're not aware of it, look out. Warning, says I.
Yeah. So Matt, let's discuss about the positive mental health, like how we can create the positive mental health for ourselves, and are there specific strategies or practice you can recommend to my audience, to me, that we can take?
So emotional intelligence is kind of the facts, the science, how things work, how our emotions work, how our synapses work, how our brain works, how our prefrontal cortex works, how our amygdala works, all that kind of stuff. It's real. That's real. And it's happening inside of us. There's a science to it that is very, very real and very important. But what I have trouble with is sometimes I go, so what? If I know how my synapses work and I know how my amygdala works, so what do I do with that information? That's positive mental health. It's the art to it. It's how do you make it real in your life? What do I do with all this stuff? Okay. I understand now how it works maybe, but what do I do with it? How do I deal with it on a daily basis? So there's certain things like being able to deal with our negative emotions that are crucial to positive mental health. If you want to be mentally healthy, you got to be able to deal with your negative emotions, says I. And if you can have way more positive emotions. So the graph goes down, you go down, you deal with stuff. Okay, I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm fearful, whatever it is. And you deal with it, you look at it, you evaluate it, you decide what you want to do with it. And then you go, you know what? I don't want to carry this around. And you can go, the way emotions work too is usually, I won't say always, usually our thoughts happen first. So if you're feeling something, I'm upset right now. What were you thinking that made you upset? What did you think? Well, I started, something happened and I was like, that's not fair, or that's not right. Well, if you thought that, you're going to probably feel angry, agitated, upset, frustrated, that kind of thing. Okay, so go back to the thoughts and know, here's the good part, know that you made them. I think this is one of the biggest things, biggest lessons in emotional intelligence, is that you are in charge of you. It's really good news. It's super good news. You made your thoughts, you made your feelings, you act the way you think, whether you're told to, whether you have to. People say, I got to go to work today and I'm upset about that. And I go, do you really? Do you have to go to work? Well, no, I don't have to. I choose to. Oh, now it changes things. That's a whole different story. Why? Well, I want a paycheck. I want to be able to eat. I want to pay my rent. Okay. Then you choose to go, that kind of, okay. Right. You may not be happy about it. Still, it's not thrilling or anything, but you're choosing and you're in charge. They're my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, all of them. Thoughts, feelings, action. They're all mine. And that's really good news. No matter what's happening outside, I get to choose what happens inside of me. And that is awesome. That is the best news I've ever had. Changed my life.
Yeah. So Matt, as I know, you have been actively promoting emotional education at schools, workplaces, at homes, and you also help the different kind of organizations, corporations, big companies, Fortune 500 companies, and they are actively working with you, and like you help the thousand and several businesses in that. Like, can you share some of the initiatives like you are most proud of and how they have impacted the communities you have worked with?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So my specialty is not necessarily businesses. I don't have a bunch of businesses working with me. What I do and what I'm most proud of is that colleges and universities want to hear about this, and that I love it because that is what I call a top down, right? The ripple effect. If I can teach the professors and the students and college students who are getting ready to go out into the world and who are getting ready to make families and who are getting ready to create teams and try to create success for themselves. If we can make emotions okay with them, then we can affect all kinds of things. And what I'm finding is that the colleges and universities, especially in Asia and UK and some in the United States and et cetera, are saying we are aware that this is a problem. We don't know anything about our emotions. Please come talk to us. Please come talk to us about this because we don't know how they work. And so that is a beautiful thing. They're open to it and they're taking it and going with it. So like I said, like you said in the intro, I've spoken to 40 something colleges and universities so far, and I'm getting ready to take a trip to
Mhm.
Nepal and India and Egypt, and I'm going to be talking to more universities and start that ripple effect because they know that they don't know, and that's cool, and they want to know, and they want to know. They know they want to know, and so I'm like, hey, pick me. I'll happy to share it with you. So
Yeah, yeah,
what we're one more thing. What we're mostly doing in India, especially, is that they want me to talk to the science kids, the engineering students, the science students, the management students, etc., and medical, because they are focused almost exclusively on their left brain, on their logic and their reason and their understanding and the knowledge and all kinds of information that they're getting. Great. That's great. Do that. Add this to it. Add the whole other side of you to it is what I'm suggesting, right? Bring it up to match. And so we're saying that if you don't, if you don't know anything about this, I'd already said this. If you don't know anything about it, there's whole parts of you that you're missing. So, and the whole parts of your life and all that. Awesome.
yeah. That's my mission. That like that we can do in Pakistan, and I'm willing to work on that cause, and let's see how we can collaborate on this chapter. And by the way, when you land into India, so I'm willing to invite you on the behalf of my country. Like, you can visit us in Pakistan, and we will host
Yeah.
you there. There is no worries. Yeah, it will be an honor for us. Let's
Right.
we are moving towards looking ahead. What do you see the future of emotional education like? How do you hope to continue expanding the reach of EQ4Peace worldwide?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, uh, it's expanding in the psychology departments. It's expanding in the sociology departments. It's expanding in economics departments. I was surprised how good they are. Engineering departments, that sort of thing. And they're saying if you want to have a full life, if you want to succeed, if you want to connect and make teams and make things happen, you've got to learn this side of you. And so we're adding curriculum to the university's offering. So that's really cool. I think what that does is the biggest part of that is that it's basically saying we always thought emotions were a bad thing. They are to be avoided at all costs. And now it's like, it's painful, but it's coming up to, oh, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And I can express things and I can tell you what I really think and feel. And I can be real with you. I can be honest with you, and you can handle it, and you can be real and honest with me, and we can have closer relationships, all that kind of stuff. But it's adding a whole nother component to our life and to our success. And I think it's happening in the United States. It's happening. Emotional intelligence is skyrocketing in popularity mostly because of bad things, because of COVIDs and stuff that's gone wrong. When you get, and COVID's people got isolated, right? And you got stuck in a room by yourself. What do you got there? your thoughts and your feelings. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I'm stuck with just my thoughts and feelings. Warning, warning, do. And people are like, this is not cool. I have no idea how to deal with this. Like, yeah, all right. So let's figure this out, shall we? Quickly, because there's a lot of people are because of it. So yeah, the future is bright. This future is bright. I'm happy about it.
Yeah, same thoughts. So, Matt, let's go for the word. We are expecting the final thoughts. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners on how they can start improving their emotional intelligence today?
I do. So awareness, acceptance, action. I think those are the really key steps to the whole thing. And awareness means that you be aware of you, be aware of yourself, of what's going on, and try to name them, try to identify them. I call it name it to tame it. Try to identify what the heck, what's going on, what that is. Oh, that's embarrassment. Oh, that's frustration. Okay, that's anger, right? Oh, okay. Most of it, oh, by the way, most of it is fear. A lot of it is fear. Watch out for that, especially guys get those mixed up, fear and anger mixed up all the time. A lot of it is fear. So watch out for that. Now, your fear is actually giving you a warning. It's right. Your fear's there for a reason. That's why we're given this. We're born with these emotions. And your fear says, hey, watch it, warning. Your fear does not, however, say run. It does not say hide. It does not say shut up. It just says open your eyes and open your heart to this. Be aware. You decide, then you take your logic and add it to your emotion and go, okay, now I'm going to use this reasonably in a practical, in a efficient, effective ways. I'm going to use this, but I took the warning that I needed. Oh, this is scary for me. I'm out on the skinny limbs kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's about being identifying it and accepting. And accepting is a lot about emotional responsibility, I call it, which means that you are in charge of you. You made these thoughts. Nobody makes you angry ever. Nobody hurts your feelings ever. Check it out. They don't. They can't. Only you can do that. Your thoughts did that. How you took it is what hurt your feelings or made you angry. And you can change it. You can change it. If you don't like what you're thinking and feeling, you can change it. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. That's one of the big things. If I had bumper sticker, that's what I put on there. They're your thoughts and feelings, and you can change them if you don't like them. I don't want to make it sound flippant and just like, yeah, well, just think positive and everything's fine. No, it's not. But you can adjust things. I call that spin it to win it. Spin it to win it. You can adjust it, and you go, that's not fair. I'm da-da-da-da. And you go, wait a minute. He was just trying to do the best they can. Or somebody cuts you off in the car. Well, they were just, all right. You can explain things to yourself and calm yourself down. And you can go, okay, all right. I don't have to be that upset about it. That kind of thing. You can adjust things, spin it to win it. And then lastly, give yourself permission to feel. A lot of us are grown up with our parents, our dads taught us the best way they can. Sometimes it was violently to not deal with your feelings. We were told and over in many, many ways, do not deal with your feelings. Well, that's not such great advice, actually, it turns out, for them or for you. And so if you can give yourself permission to feel, then you can do all those wonderful things that I said. It changes things, it changes everything.
Yeah, Professor Matt, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast today. Your insights on the emotional intelligence are truly, your insights are on emotional intelligence are truly eye-opening, and I'm sure our listeners have gained valuable knowledge on how to better understand and manage their emotions. Like, for those interested in learning more about Professor Matt's works, be sure to check out EQ4Peace Worldwide and just Google him, and you can find him on the LinkedIn, and you can see the amazing resources they offer, right? Thank you all for tuning the Zoom on Sales. If you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and remember, your emotions are a powerful tool for success.
Yeah.
Take care.
Nice.
Take care. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
right. And you're pretty good at this too, Abdul. Good for you. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.